Well, it's Monday and it's definitely snowing. Those flakes are huge. And you can tell, truck's pretty covered. Just brought Carolyn home from work, and another half hour, we wouldn't have made it. So we're gonna hunker down and see how much snow we're getting. They're saying up to 12 inches or more. Well, those Carolyn's pine tree, she's definitely getting snow on it. And it's coming down pretty good. Those are big flakes. Well, hey there.
Hi.
We're gonna go outside and show you how we survived this Arctic blast we just had this last week, and then come inside and show you some of the things we did do. Now, we have to let you know, some things worked, some things didn't.
Yeah, some things did not work.
And
But we fixed it.
Yeah, we'll cover those. So we'll go ahead and take you outside and show you what's going on.
Okay, I'm ready. I hope we don't get too cold, but man, it is cold out here. It is really cold. Oh man, look at all the birds. Oh my gosh, we've been trying to feed all the birds because we feel so sorry for them. I think I'm going to have to get out there today and get them some more bird food.
All right, so one of the things we wanted to do was try to keep the underbelly of this rig warm the best we could, because we don't want the black or the gray tanks, and especially the plumbing, to freeze. So besides our inside heater, down underneath there, we have another heater. And just turn it on. It's a digital heater, and we can set it either high or low, and I've got it set to 65, so it'll go until it gets up to 65, then it'll actually shut off and keep monitoring in place. As you can see right now, it's 36 in here because I just turned it on, but it'll warm it up real nice so we can keep this area down here good and warm. Because we got right here, if you can see, right up there we have, that's the pipe coming from the toilet area, so we don't want to have to worry about it. And then over on the other side, you can see, is our water area where we have all the access and how we control everything. And right here is where we have the heater. Okay, so out here at the control box for the power, of course I got my 50 amp, I got the surge protector on here in case we lose have any power spikes because of any power issues in the area, down trees, blowing up transformer, that type of stuff. The other thing is I've got this 20 amp GFI, so that anything I got plugged in out here, it's protected in case it gets wet or whatever, which I have right now. I've got the, actually have this one here is the heavy cord. It is actually keeping the heated hose, the Camco heated hose 25 footer from our water spout to the rig inside to keep it nice and warm. And this one is actually going over to keep my truck going. It's a diesel, so it's in there keeping it warm, so if we have to crank it, it'll crank over and it won't be a problem. So that's what we've got set up here. And of course you can see the rig right behind me. All right, believe it or not, it started snowing and extremely cold Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, stopped for a little bit, then it started up yesterday, Wednesday, and this is Thursday morning. I've already cleaned this truck off 3 times. We've been out and about getting stuff coming back like propane. In fact, my propane, I'm going through a 60-gallon tank or 6-gallon tank every other day, so we're blowing through a lot of propane to keep it warm in there. But my rig, this is from last night's snow, just this last night, which is Wednesday. Of course, I got my heater plugged into the motor block to keep it nice and warm, so if we have to go anywhere, we can just crank it up and go. Okay, one of the other things we've done is we decided this year we're going to have an extra tank. Besides the 2 tanks we have in here that I keep full, I actually have a spare right here, so I can keep, I've got 3 tanks worth. So theoretically, the way the weather's been here, we can go 5 days to as few as 2 days on 1 full tank. And when I say 2 days, it's actually been, we've woke up in the morning at 3 degrees with a -6, I think it is, temperature. And today, I think it's like 23, 25 with a 16-degree wind chill temperature. So it's pretty cold. These rigs aren't really made to be in this cold stuff. We've been in cold weather like this, but not this cold and this long. In fact, we've had our freshwater tank is frozen. We can't use any fresh water. and the black and gray valves are frozen shut, which I did that on purpose. I didn't want to have a problem with it freezing, with it flowing out through the septic hose to the septic drain. So that's what we did there.
Okay, we're gonna see how deep it is. Ready? Here we go. Okay, 7 inches. We got 7 inches of snow right now.
Putting on my gloves, a little cold here. Okay, so the other things we've done out here to make sure we keep water is, here's our spigot for the water coming from the water main. We've gone ahead and wrapped it, believe it or not, in a mover's blanket. And this right here is the thermostat for the Camco 25-foot heated hose. This is our third one, by the way, this week. The original one, the first one we've had for a year and a half, it died on us Monday. We tried to put on the new one we bought last month, a spare, and it was spewing water out of both ends. There was some major problems in it. So we were able to go down and get a, one of the stores was open yesterday. We were the only ones on the road. And we were able to get this for us from another RV vendor.
This is the first one that went out. It is frozen solid. I mean, it was great while it worked, but man, that night it was terrible after it stopped.
So we were able to get this and install it. It's working. Besides this heated hose and the thermostat we got here, which I like this a lot better than the old one. Thermostat was inside, and if it's warm, it doesn't turn on, so it can freeze. But also down here, you can't quite see it. Well, here, move the snow a little bit. I actually have heated and insulated. There's actually a product I put down there that is wired to insulate the pipe all the way into the ground. And then I wrapped it in cotton, non-flammable insulation to keep it warm when that turns on. It has a thermostat on it too. And both of them, they come on when it temperature senses 45 degrees or lower, and it goes off once it gets up to about 55 or 56. So that worked pretty good. Over here, you can see where it goes into the rig. I've gone ahead and I've wrapped a towel in here to keep that cold air from coming up through the water drain area here, where I've already got my internet Mophie Wi-Fi antenna cables running out. So that works out pretty good, and it's nice and toasty in here, nice and warm, so we don't have to worry about freezing in here. One of the problems we've had here is of course, these pipes are exposed here, even though we have the Arctic package, and most of the underbelly gets some heat from the floor coming down. Unfortunately, when it's zero, it's going to freeze. So my gray and black pipe up here, the valves are froze shut. So what I've tried to do, I've actually got a heating pad on here and wrapped it in a towel, and have been turning on and off the switch to try and get it to thaw. And I've been trying it for 2 days and it ain't working. So I got to wait till it's going to heat up, hopefully into the 50s in about 4 or 5 days. And I'll be able to dump my gray and my black tank. We've been very frugal on using the black and gray tank. We've been taking sponge baths. We've been going over to the kids' house, took a shower the other day, and washing dishes every other day to try and keep that taken care of. And we've been using a lot of bottled water since our freshwater tank is frozen and the water pump's frozen, to do coffee, to do tea, and just, general use of water. So that's what we've been doing. Now real quickly, let me show you behind here. Here's where the septic hose is going into the ground. I went ahead and left the valve from I call it the shower preventer over there at the septic coming out until it comes into here. Eventually, when this thaws, down in here, I already have this hooked up, ready to go. So I don't have to worry about it not being able to be screwed on and being able to use it. So it's ready to go once it warms up enough to drain. And this hose is completely dry. I made sure of that over the last couple of days, especially after I dumped it the last time, which was this is Thursday, it was last Friday. So that's what we've done for this. All right, another thing I want to mention is for being able to see what's going on with the weather, to watch TV, or especially, I still have to do business via the internet no matter where I'm at. Here we have, and I'll show you the link to my video on our Wi-Fi setup, but this is my Wi-Fi Mophie dual horizontal vertical pole. It's just a painter's pole with suction cups from Techno RV on here, and the cables come from inside out and go up to the actual antenna on top, and it's pointing to the closest. We use Verizon, and it's pointing to the Verizon area, so we can still send, receive emails, do YouTube videos like we're doing, and the such. So we're fine too, and this is also ran by the generator if we have to, if we lose power. All right, one of the things that we did that's helped out with this a lot is when the pandemic first started, we went ahead and ordered us an extra refrigerator, and we were really impressed with this Dometic frozen blanket on there. We were really impressed with this Dometic freezer because it can be a freezer and a fridge. It could be a freezer and a freezer, or it could be a fridge and a fridge. And it's about 6 to 8 cubic feet of extra storage. We got a lot of meat in here on this side. We have it frozen on both sides right now. And of course we have meat on this side. And this can also be charged with a battery backup, which I have one that'll last about 10 hours with this unit in the heat, along with solar panels, 100 watt solar power. So we would always have this refrigerator running no matter what. If we lose power, it'll run. We don't have any propane, it'll still run, so it was a great idea. So we have this here for the winter time right now. Luckily, it's set at 5 degrees on both sides for frozen. And it's been a real godsend because we haven't had to go to the store if we don't want to. In fact, basically with our food reserves we got ready for the pandemic and the snow that was going on here, we probably got, good 3 to 4 weeks of frozen food and a month to 2, maybe more of canned goods, pastas, and all the essentials for us to last in case this goes any farther or any longer. So we're doing pretty good. One of the other things I wanted to mention is we do have the generator, the Onan generator up front that I'll talk about here in a second. So underneath our rig, we have a Cummins Onan 5500 generator under here, and we have a 30-gallon gas tank in the back that feeds this, along with able to fill up our Harley or the four-wheeler over there if we need gas. But the nice thing about this is all the people in Texas, Louisiana, and that, they lost power. Knock on wood, we haven't lost power here in Tennessee yet from these rolling blackouts. But if we lose power, we can turn this thing on. It'll last quite a long time. And if we use it economically, we can probably last a week, maybe more, by running a couple hours during the day to charge batteries, a couple hours at night, because our propane heater will run off battery power. So we would be just fine. So that's a good thing to have. I highly recommend anybody who's a full-time RVer, you need to have a backup generator in your rig somehow.
Oh my gosh, look at the fire pit. The kids are going to be so disappointed that they can't do some s'mores.
And so I got an update for you. Not 15 minutes after I and Carolyn covered how we had a frozen black tank, I went out and was able to open the valve, and I had movement. So I went ahead and dumped it. I filled it up twice and redumped again, cleaned it out. So the black tank is empty, and we've added more septic chemicals to it to make it work. So we're good for another 7 to 8 days. So that's a good thing.
Okay, one thing that helped us a lot, that we'd only have a few carpets, but at least we did have them on the floor, and that helped the cold from coming up, and kept the heat in a little bit. And over here, this is where I'll show you real quick. Oh. We put this stuff in here, and it just goes right in the window and it comes right off. But man, it has really helped. It's been amazing. Okay, another thing we did is I think we have 4 blankets on here all together. We have one quilt, we have our regular blanket that we have another quilt on top of it, and then we use this one that we put on top of it at night. And we've been very toasty up here.
All right, one of the other things I do is I keep track of, even during the summer, spring, fall, or winter, is I keep track of when I change propane, when I level the rig if we're sitting anywhere extended period of time, how long it was from the last time I dumped the gray or the black tanks, so I have an idea about how far I can go. Because as you all know, your tank indicators don't always work very well, and right now, in fact, my tank indicators are frozen. They say empty. I know the gray's got in it. Both gray tanks, or excuse me, yes, both gray tanks have stuff in it, and so does a black tank. So I know I can go 7, maybe 9 days before I have to dump the black tank. And with taking showers and that, we can probably get 5 days worth of showers before I got to dump the gray tanks along with the kitchen. But since we've been sparingly taking showers, we could probably last about 10 to 12 days. So it's very helpful. I keep track of that because a lot of the time, when you've been on the road 2.5 years, you kind of forget when you dumped last. So you can keep an eye on it, especially when you're boondocking and or one fixed place, or if you're traveling and you just don't want to dump every time you go to a campsite, like if you're doing harvest hosts or any type of boondocking. So I highly recommend people do that. I do it. We love it. It keeps us from having many problems.
One thing I do have to say is that we used to live in Chicago for 2 years, so we were very fortunate that we kept all of our snow clothes when we moved down to Tennessee. So we haven't had really a problem with dealing with the cold per se, because we got the boots, the gloves, the jackets, we got everything that we possibly need to stay warm.
Do you hear that sound?
Yeah.
What's it sound?
This is the ice melting. It's so wonderful. It's really great.
It's 41 degrees today. Do you realize how many days we went with sub-freezing and in the teens and sub-zero some days?
I think it was over a week.
It was exactly a week.
A week.
Saturday to Saturday.
It's too long. 2 days is okay. 7 days is too long.
Yes. But we made it.
Yes, we did.
All those things we did. One of the things that happened also today, luckily, is that our kitchen sink, the kitchen water's working.
The hot and the cold water.
Both.
The lines unfroze. It was so great.
Yep. Unfortunately, the black tank did run, as I showed you the other day, 2 days ago, and we were able to dump and get out of there. But with these temperatures, the gray tank's still frozen. So is the fresh water. Luckily we have water, but we have to be very careful what we do.
Yes. Fortunate we could still go over to our daughter's house and take a shower.
Yep. Yep, which we've done a couple times.
Yeah.
If we hadn't, though, a couple days we did do just the regular old, put hot water in the sink and do a sponge bath a couple times, which it worked really good. I thought we did pretty good considering. We could have done it.
You can't wash your hair when you do that.
I know. It's all right. I got that much hair to worry about,
No,
so
don't.
you keep it nice and short for me. So everything worked pretty good. We're just hoping it's supposed to now be maybe 28 tonight, in the 50s tomorrow, 32 tomorrow night, and then after that it's in the 50s during the day, almost 60 during the week, and then above freezing the whole time. So hopefully in a day or so we'll be able to get the gray tanks to drain and we'll be back to normal.
Take showers.
Yes. So some of the things we did today, which was kind of nice, is we did go out and Carolyn got to feed her animals.
Okay, well, it's only like 18 or 19 degrees right now and the sun's shining, but we figured, at least I figured, we need to come out and feed the animals, the turkey and the deer and the rabbits and the armadillos, and especially the birds, to take care of them since it's so unusually cold this year. And they tore this up.
So hopefully life will be back to normal now. And this will be the last Arctic blast we'll have to deal with for this winter time.
I hope so.
Me too. All right. So hopefully you all have enjoyed what we've shown you. Hopefully it's helpful. So next, what are you going to do?
You need to subscribe and press the button over on that side and ring the bell.
Yep.
So you know when we put up a new video.
And we'll try and do that as often as we can. And hopefully everybody is doing safe out there. And remember this video for each winter in case you need to get some ideas what to do. So like Carolyn always likes to say,
we'll take you there.